Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a bookshelf tour. Okay, so I just wanted to do a little bit of a disclaimer right here, right now. I don't have that many books, but I do have that many unread books. Basically, most of the books I have that I own right here, I have not read. Is what it is, don't come for me. I'm a girlie who reads books. This is kind of what happened. So, I'm not going to go into too much of a debrief with the storylines, blah blah or blah blah. I am going to basically say if I've read it, if I haven't, do, and then pull out the books that I want to like have a little mention or like is a stunning addition. So that's what we're going to do today. This is the first bookshelf tour I'm doing. I'm probably going to do one maybe once a year, probably like around the same time, so at the end of the year, because I'd like to look back at it and either be really embarrassed about myself or like be really impressed because I've got my TBR down so much and I can treat myself to like small books. And then if I haven't read that many books and my TBR is growing, well, that's a problem for myself then, isn't it? What I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with my higher shelf and kind of like work its way down, and then down this one, and then around the other piles of books that I've got in the room. I am due to get another bookshelf, then another one of these big ones at the end of the year for Christmas, and it's going to go there, and then I can obviously fill that up, and I'm so excited, and I can clear all the books. Because honestly, I'm just book dumping at the moment. I physically do not have a place for any of them. And I'll put you there, and then I'll put you there. And then it's just accumulating. It's just accumulating, guys. It's just everywhere. But honestly, guys, I am so excited to go through this with you because I can't remember the last time I went through them myself. And I feel like I need a little bit of a recap to remind myself to read some books or remind myself that I have certain books. Because when you have this many and when so many are being released, your brain just stops storing information. So let's get into it. Okay, I know that the camera isn't in the best angle, but I'm having to put my camera on a tripod on top of my footstool because it's just not tall enough to get to the shelf. But basically these are all my Bridgerton books, the special editions. I got them all from, was it Fairy Loot? But yeah, they are absolutely, honestly, like, can you just take a second because they're beautiful. And then I got these from TK Maxx ages ago, and I was so obsessed and so happy to get these. So eventually I will be bringing these down and they will have their own shelf, but currently because I don't have that much space at the moment, they're just plonked there. And funny enough, I have not read any of them, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 unread right there. I organise my bookshelves in colour. Yes, some people won't like that, but I'm not one of those. I love colour shelves. So I do have, let me just, again, take a second for this one. It is beautiful. I've taken off the dust cover just because I wanted to just show this. I'm not obsessed with this. I mean, yes, it is pretty, but compared to this golden foiling, I mean, we can't really say anything. It is a Fate Inked in Blood by Danielle L. Jensen. I was obsessed with this story, and I cannot wait for the second one, which comes out, I think, start of next year. This one, A Natural History of Dragons, I actually am in the middle of reading. Don't come for me, I got really bored. Restore Me, and then I've got, I think in here, I do have, okay, Powerful, obsessed, read that. A Breakup from Hell, I mean, it was a cute YA book, but wasn't really obsessed with it. And then I do have a couple of the Shatter Me series books. I have all of them, I have only read the first one, so that's 3 unread books there. I'm going to class that as unread because yes, I know I'm halfway through finishing it, but I haven't actually finished it. So You Met in the Night I Painted by Brandon Sanderson. I have not got into his world yet, and I really want to, but I want to start it all from scratch. So this is going to be here until I get to that whole world, that whole universe, and then I get to this spot because honestly there must be like 50 books in there. Girl Step in a Thorn, I have read that. I enjoyed it, I really did. I think it's a standalone. I thought at the time when I started reading it that it was in like a trilogy. It really wasn't. I quite enjoyed that. It took like a weird turn in the book, but the weird turn made it worthwhile. Dragon Rider, I have not read. It's a big book, look at that. I bought this when it came out, I don't know when that was, I'll put it on the screen in a second. And I just don't know what it's about. I just thought it was dragon riding and I was like, oh my god, that sounds amazing. Riding dragons, like Fourth Wing, I loved Fourth Wing. And then here it is, collecting dust on my bookshelf. It ends with us, this actually, Colin Hoover, right, so I bought this book. This was the first like special edition book I bought, and this is what got me into my addiction of special editions. And I was like, oh yes, let's get Colin Hoover. I don't know what Colin Hoover is. I've never read any of her books. I have now read a couple of her books, and I'm putting off reading that because honestly, I'm not ready to be traumatised again. Not ready at all. I'm going to move my sophisticated bunny. I do have medieval bodies. This I got from the charity shop because honestly, I just thought the cover was just like obsessed. Like, why is there so much going on? I have not read that. Do know what it's about. The Bone Houses I have read and I loved. And then this is another Brandon Sanderson one. Again, I'm not in that universe, so I've just kind of collected that book. And I will eventually collect them all. And I'm hoping, if I like it, obviously, to have a whole bookshelf in relation to him. But currently, I haven't started it, so I'm just going to put that there. Another 8 books on this one shelf. Okay, the shelf below has a lot of decoration on it. We can take that off in a second, but I'm not going to move all these because that is a chart, and this fake plant is actually like attached to my shelf, so I'm just going to leave that there. Wild Spark, I have not read that, and I think this is about a town where it's like an engineering town where they build things out of metal and it all comes to life, and without it people couldn't survive because they don't really have like servants type of thing where people can help him, so that's where they all come in. You Again I have read, and I was so excited for this book. It was based in autumn and I read it last year, hated it, could not think of anything worse. A Court of Thorns and Roses have not read. I know, do not come from me, I'm so sorry. Burning Crowns, I have read the first one. Is this the second or the third one? Unsure, have not read it though. X's and O's, right. I cried at the end of this book. I loved this so much. It was such a girly chick flick read. Yeah, honestly, if you want like a good book to like a romance, look into that one because obsessed. Honey Witch, this is a special edition and I'm so excited to get this book just because it looks so beautiful. And look at those. Honestly, every time I try to pick up this book, I do not have the energy to read it. Like, it's not the book that I'm wanting to read, so I'm going to struggle reading that. I hope I don't, like, DF it and never pick it up in my whole life, but I really want to read it. Richard Osman's The Thursday Murder Club. I have not read that, actually. There was that much hype about it that I'm actually scared. The Starless Sea I have not read. I have started to read it, oh god, like maybe 4 months ago. Got like 2 chapters in. It wasn't the book I was wanting to read and I've never actually picked it up yet, so that's another one. The Dead Romantics I have never read. I bought it on the hype, but the whole story just doesn't seem to be interesting to me. It's not really pulling me in, so I'm going to hold on to it because everyone says it's really good, and then you become obsessed with, what's her name? Is it Ashley? What the fuck? Ashley Poston, you will be obsessed with her writing, but currently I kind of don't care for her. Love Theoretically, I will always read Ali Hazelwood books, but my love for her is fading just because I'm getting a bit bored of him now. This book at the back, I'm not going to get out, but it's Fangs, and I read that last month. This is like a manga of a vampire and a werewolf who fall in love, and I loved it. It was so cute. Lonely Castle in the Mirror, I have not read that, but the concept sounds amazing. It's basically about you can transfer into a mirror and it takes you to a castle, and I don't think you can get out. The Wind in the Willows is like, honestly, I'm going to have to get this out and show you because it's beautiful. Oh my god, why is this so heavy? Well, okay. And I really should have read that this autumn, but I honestly forgot I had it, so that's fun. But yeah, it's a proper young adult reading, and it's just cute. Do you know? It's just cute. I got from the charity shop. I don't see any more of them. I literally saw this cover and I was like, yes, you are going straight in my basket. Hello, book. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 unread books on the shelf. Okay, this is my pink and red one. You can just ignore Grogu right here. I had nowhere to put him because my green shelf below is a little bit full. So it kind of does link up, but it's just not vibing. This shelf I have read maybe like 3. It's, yeah, I've got a lot of read books, weirdly enough, and they're all kind of giving off the same vibes. I have not read hardly any of these books. Okay. So, A Magic Steeped in Poison and A Venom Dark and Sweet. I've not read either of those. This is about... Let's get the cover up so I can actually show you. Like, it's a beautiful book. They're both kind of the same vibe, loads of swirls going around. And it's about tea making. Someone gets poisoned. I think it's someone in a family gets poisoned because of some tea that they drank. So, yeah. This one... I have no idea what this is. Should we have a look? Okay, The Night in Question. So I bought this book because obviously the spread edges and I was like, oh, I need that. Turns out this is a second in a trilogy. So I kind of can't read that until I get the first one. If you ask me what the first one is, I would not be able to tell you because I do not know. But I really want to get the same special edition paperback. So, it says The Agathas. So it's kind of the same falling off the cliff vibe. Can you see? Yeah, so I don't know. But that's about teen detectives. So I was just thinking, I really should read it because I honestly think I'd love this. I love that sort of books. This one I have read. This is the first in a trilogy, the one I mentioned up on the previous shelf. I wasn't obsessed with this book, but I didn't hate it. It was an okay read. It got to the point where I was excited to finish it and I wasn't really kind of bothered about how the story ended. There were certain parts in here that I was thinking, oh, you know, actually, this is actually quite good. But overall, the book, I didn't care for. So I'm kind of scared to read the other 2 books because I kind of don't care. Not in Love by Ella Hazelwood, I have read. Saint's Death's Daughter is a really chunky book, but the concept of it is really, really good. This is about necromancy and it's a young girl. Nothing complicates life like death. And I'm excited to read it, but it's a big book and it's got really small wording. So that's something I've been putting off. Once Upon a Time, I bought this just because of the cover. I honestly have no idea what it's about. Not a clue. But I really like the cover, so I bought that. And all these, I think, minus 1 or 2 are all special editions. So Evocation, I started reading, really didn't care for it, so I soft DNF'd it. A Temptation to Magic, have not read it, but I'm very excited to. Attempt is a Tea, I read that, loved it, obsessed with it, would love to read it again, so excited for the next book. This is about a group of vampires having a tea house in the day and then it turns into a blood house at night time to feed the vampires, but it's like a shush secret. The Scarlet Alchemist, I have not read. Special edition, I have no idea what it's about. The Crimson Moth, I did read this. In America, it's got a different name. I'll put it on the screen now. I did like it. It was not a 5-star like everyone was predicting online. And I kind of was a little bit disappointed about it. But am I going to read the second book? Yes, I am, because the cliffhanger was cliffing on this book. The Hollow Heart, I have not read. That is a second or a first book in a trilogy. The other one is on the shelf below. And then The Gilded Crown, I have not read. Over here, this one, I actually have it on my Kindle, so I'm probably going to read it. I actually have read like I want to say decent, yeah, it is a decent amount because I am 164 pages in, and then I just, for some reason, just didn't finish it, and then here we are, it's unread. Basically, unlike a download, them two kind of grew up together a little bit, and then their lives separated, and then they come back together in later in life, and their circumstances are completely different. And I really like this edition. I would like to have it like here, but I just like that the 3 special editions are here. This one, I have no idea what book this is. Okay, The Dagger and the Flame. I have not read that, but again, it's a very special edition. And it's beautiful, just because, like, how detailed is that? Like, that is honestly stunning. This one is a new one, I believe. Let's have a look. The Gods Below. Yeah, it's a new one. Would not know anything about it. It's a Fairylit one. Honestly, the amount of times Fairylit have sent me a book and I have no idea what it's about because it's a pre-order, it's a subscription, it just gets delivered. Love that for myself. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yikes. Okay, 13 books. This is when life's going to get a little bit difficult because I'm now sat on the floor and we are like 2 shelves from the bottom, so it's just going to get a little bit difficult. But I do have a lot of decorations here. As you can tell, this is the green shelf. I do have obviously a Grogu here, which I'd love to put there, but it's just too much. So I'm going to remove my Switch and my little cute ass bear. Like, look at this. Honestly, stop yourself. This is a mixture of books I've read and haven't read, so I think this might look a little bit better for myself because at this stage in life I am kind of embarrassed. Bone Smith, I'm actually currently reading the second one in this trilogy called Ghostsmith, and it is beautiful. Like, stop yourself, it is beautiful. This one I have no idea what it's about, but it's a gorgeous cover. This is a fairy little book, Sorcerer and the Small Magics. Not a clue. Okay, so A Scandalous Confession of Lydia Bennet Witch. I have not read that. The Christmas Swap, have not read that, but I'm planning on reading it at the end of this year. What is this? Oh yeah, The God and the Glimmerhoe, I have not read. Bad Reputation, I have not read. Empress of All Seasons, I have read, and I was obsessed with that. It was a very good read. I could not put it down, and this is what made me obsessed with Emiko Jean, because really good book. Fairbound, have not read. Again, this was a fairy little edition, and then everyone loves it, but I have not had time to go around and read it. The Love Life and the Apocalypse, I did want to read that last month, but I read 16 books in total, so I really struggled getting it in, so I don't know when I'll read that. I mean, I don't really want to wait till next October, but I might, so we'll hold on to that. Garlic and the Vampire, it's a manga, obsessed, loved it, it was so cute. It was in my, I read it in a vlog with you guys. I will put it at the top here in case you'd like to re-watch that or watch it for the first time. I said a second ago that I think I've read a lot more of these books, and I'm so far I've read like 2. Threads That Bind, I have not read this one, so that's going to go back. This one, again, I have not read. The Forest Scream, I love these books. So basically I read In the Lives of the Puppets. I have read this one, and this got me into indie books because I wasn't really into indie books before this, but I sat there and I was reading it and it was so cute and whimsical and homely that I've heard that this book is very similar to that, so I hunted down the special edition and I am yet to read that, but I'm very excited to. Son of Blood and Ruin, I think it was an Illumicrate book. Oh, it's a fairy tale. Okay, never mind, ignore me. This book was one of the first ones I ever got, and I'm not going to lie, I have not been interested in reading it, but I haven't not been interested. Like, I'm not like, oh, I'm never going to read that. I just, every time I look at it, I think, I'm just going to put it back, and yeah, so that's where that's going. Check and Mate, this is a special edition, a Fairy Loot special edition, so I'm going to show you that. I have read this, and I loved this so much, and I'd love to collect all the other ones, but because I'm not obsessed with Ali Hazelwood, I don't know whether to collect him because I don't be wasting money. So I have read that. Morbidly Yours, I've read that and I actually really enjoyed it. It was like morbidly cute. Read that. Ignite Me, I have not read because this is in the Shatter Me series. Spirits Abroad, this is like multiple short stories and I think it'll take me a very long time to read it, but again, I have not read it. In the Lives of Puppet, I have read, loved it. Not a 5-star, but it was totes cute, and I'm gonna totes recommend it to you guys. The Midnight Lie, it's the previous book to The Hollow Heart Above, and I have not read that. Okay, I'm gonna say maybe 15 unread books here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13. Okay, so I apologise for the angle. I've had to take you off my tripod just because it's so low. This is my like bottom shelf, so it's kind of dark. It's not a vibe. I apologise, but this one's ram-packed. I always have so many more black books than any other books going, and I don't know if that's my type of reading. Like I read a lot of dark romance and dark stuff, so unsure about that, but I want to say I've read a lot of these books, but looking at them now, I don't think I have. So I'm just going to take this candle off because that's kind of in the way. Okay, so I'll start taking these off the top. Into the Drowning Deep. I have read, loved it, obsessed, really traumatic, gave me nightmares and a new fear in the deep dark ocean. But highly recommend that for you guys. I read that on my Kindle. Twilight, I loved this so much. I got this from the charity shop and I will be getting some special editions. I will hunt down some different editions because these ones I'm not obsessed with. It's kind of like immensely boring. And it was, if you've never read Twilight, it was really nice seeing the actors having a different relationship, because I watched all of the movies before reading this, and Bella and Edward have such a better connection in here. And I even said in the vlog that I read in this, and I'll attach it here, it was that they have so much personality in the book. Like, I was full on a Jacob girl watching the movies, but after reading this book I'm now an Edward girl, because honestly he was it. So recommend that. This one right, this is funny because I got it online, and was it from Owl Crate? I think it was. Does it say on the back? No, I got this in Owl Crate and it was an online order, and it cost me like £45 because I was so excited for it. The edition looked beautiful. I have not read this, and I bought this maybe like 6 months ago, but yeah. So it is called A Fragile Threads of Power by V.E. Schwab. Obviously I've taken the cover off, but it's a beautiful, beautiful book. I just have not read it because I honestly keep forgetting about it. So that's one I haven't read. Eclipse I haven't read. I've only read the first Twilight book, but I'm very excited to get into that. The Bone Orchard I have not read. No, I have not read. Great. Crown of Midnight. Have I read this? Because it's got a tab here saying I have, but I do not remember reading this. Okay, no, A Crown of Midnight is the second to A Throne of Glass, and I was starting to read it, and then I stopped for some strange reason. And Hocus Pocus and the trilogy, the duology in here, I have not read. I bought this last October thinking, oh yeah, I'll read it, and then I never did. And then I was like, oh my god, it's October again, it's a year later, I'll read it. Never did. So that might be for next year's target, because I need to read it. I did watch it this year though, which I am happy about. A Heaven's Official Blessing I have not read. I actually started watching it, and it's a weird book, but it's really good. It's really strange. So I'm just gonna put that back. Lucy Undying I have not read. I really wanted to read it last month. This is a new release and I have not read it. Unbirthday I have not read. If you don't know what these books are, I actually have two of them here. These are books like twists on Disney movies, but it's made for adults, so it's got like murder, rape, conspiracy theories. It's kind of sticks to the same movie theme, but it's either the before, the middle, or the ending has completely changed, so it makes it really dark and twisted. I have not read Unbirthday, but I have read The Beast Within, and this was my favourite of all of them. It was so traumatic, so dark, and obsessed, so I'm keeping that. Okay. The House with the Golden Doors. I actually have the second one of this somewhere and I have not read it. A Touch of Chaos. I have read it. Wow. English, Maya. I have read that and I loved it. Your Blood, My Bones. Read that. Wasn't obsessed. I feel like it could have been a lot better story. But it is worth reading because it was actually kind of creepy. All the Devils. I have read. I had such high expectations for it. Did I care for it? No. This was basically off of the hype on social media. I bought it because everyone was like, oh my god, it's the best thing ever. I was obsessed with it, and I just didn't care for it. Lord of the Wilds I did read, and the betrayal was betraying in this book. Like, honestly, this was immense. Reckless, obviously you guys, you know, I read this book and I enjoyed it with all of those tabs. Loved it. So excited for the next one to come out. To Gaze Upon Wicked Gods I have not read. Throne of Glass I have read and I enjoyed it, and I'm very excited to get back into this world. Small Spaces, I will always recommend these books because, oh my god, I was creeped out. And so this is a young adult book.
just says shit, because this was amazing. This is about school kids who went on a school trip when the school bus breaks down in front of a cornfield. The only adult there turns around to the kids and basically says, run. Immensely creepy. Really loved it. The Cloisters, I loved this book to a point, and then I got bored. But it's a dark academia type of read, and one of the reasons I got it was because this cover. And I'm not going to get rid of it because this cover. The cover made it for me. The cover really did. It was boring. It didn't go anywhere. Immortal Longings. I did read this. Is this the first one or the second one? This is the first one. I did read this. I recently just bought the second one, and I loved this. I really did love this. It kind of had like cyberpunk vibes in there. So I'm very excited to read the second one. And then this one I've been waiting for Christmas. I bought early in this year, and now that it's in the Christmas period, I can read that. But it's Upon a Frosty Star. If you ask me what it's about, could not tell you because I would not know. But that I have been holding off that one for Christmas, so like don't come for me for that single one because I have plans. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, 11 on that one. This is actually my monthly TBR, but I'm still going to talk through it because obviously I do have the books. So this one at the bottom is Air, and it is like a really new edition, and it was fairly edition for me, so it's beautiful, and I have not read it. House Moving Castle, it's a stunning edition. Let me show you. I love Studio Ghibli movies, I really do, and I just think this edition is just beautiful. I've never read the books before or actually read the story. I've just watched the movies, but I'm really excited to read it just to see which one I prefer. So that one I'm going to read this month, or plan to. Delegate Dream Department Store, I am very excited to read that one, and I will be reading it this month. The Name of the Wind, I think I am halfway through it, or near enough. It's a big book. The story is quite slow, but it's still a good story, so I will eventually read that. I started reading that 2 months ago, and I keep putting on my TBR each month because I want to finish it off. Wildlife I've not read. Again, I would like to read this month. And then The Lost Bookshop I have not read and would like to read this month. These ones are new editions and are bloody stunning. I went into Waterstones going in not knowing what I'm going to buy, but I was like, right, I want to buy one single book. Went in, the first table I looked at, I saw this, and I was like, yep, you're coming home with me, and it did. It's not a clue what it's about, but the artwork, and then the special edition leaves at the top and the bottom, but it says, the first moment I saw you, I knew you would ruin me. And yeah, so that came home with me. I'm very excited about that. And then Sky Shade is the third book in the Light Lark series. I'm not sure if it's a trilogy. I think it will be, but I'm unsure. This came out like last week, and I'm so excited to read this. Might read that next month. Okay, but this is this month's TBR, so it's not that bad that most of them are unread. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so this is the majority of my pink and purple edition. This actually doesn't have that many books crammed on it because obviously I have a nice little moment, and this right here is a light, and it's so bloody cute. I'll turn that off just to conserve some energy. Okay, so The Darkness Within Us, I loved so much. So much. The main character in here, the main male character, is like full-on daddy material. I'm obsessed with him. Daydream I have not read. That is the third book that, when I mentioned it, there's Wildfire. I will be reading that at some point, and I just think the cover, like whoever designed this with the purples and the blues and the pinks, oh, it just works so well. So I have not read that one. XOXO, I loved reading it. It's about K-pop. Oh, honestly, it was such like a comfort, so I've read that. What is here? 1,000 Boy Kisses. This book broke my heart. I was bawling my eyes out, like snot running down my face. It was such a good book, and the second one has come out, and I think it's about this main character's sister. But because how this book ends, I don't know how I'm going to pick it up. So please let me know if you've read the second one and if it's worth it, because I'm not ready. This one, If I Have to Be Haunted, was actually really sweet, and this was the first book I actually bought on Vinted. I have now bought a lot of secondhand books on Vinted because, I mean, why would you not? I enjoyed that book. Wasn't obsessed with it, but it was a good read. Gothic Hannah. I love this book. As you could tell, I was obsessed with it. This is the dark academic read, right, that you should all read. The second one was actually supposed to be released maybe like 3 months ago, but it keeps being postponed. And I don't know if that's because of the author or because of the publishing purposes, but I'm very excited to read that one. Icebreaker is the first book to Daydream, and I have read this book. It was immensely smutty, and I wasn't expecting that, but I did actually really enjoy it. In the Lives of the Puppets, I have 2 covers of these. They are... I would get it out. I mean, I'm going to get it out. I do have 2 covers of it. This one is the standard one, but this is the special edition one. And I love this one so much more. But I kind of preferred the work on this one, so I've just kept them both. It's a part of me now. It's a part of me, and it's so cute. So I have 2 of them. But again, I have read it, so I feel like that's fine for me to do that. And let's just put it back in. In Magical Girl Retires, I have read this book. Right, it's tiny. It's such a small book. I would have loved this book if it had like 200 extra pages in it, because this story, the build-up was so long and so immense, and then when stuff finally happened, it was over in like 20 pages. But I really do love it just because that's actually the hardback. I just think it's beautiful. The concept's really good as well. I don't really like the ending of it. So, I think this is called Girl, Goddess, Queen, and I have read that one. To Hell with Love. I do have the second book in this. I think it's a trilogy. Unsure, please don't quote me on that one, but it's on the shelf below. And then this one here is Never by Jessica Hastings. If you do not know who Jessica Hastings is, please sort yourself out, because it's Jessica Hastings. If you want to take anything away from this bookshelf, maybe have a look into this one, because I still think about this book to this day, and I read it the same week of Christmas. I read it at work when it was our quiet period last year. So it's nearly a full year ago, and I still think of this book to this day. I loved it. As you can see with all those tabs, I really did like it. Never is a twisting on Peter Pan. It has Peter Pan and Hook, and Jessica Hastings is a really good author because she rips your heart out and crumples it in her hands and then blows it away in the distance. She's really good at breaking your heart. But I will always read every single one of her books ever to be released because she is the best. So okay, so we're now on my blue section. Yes, there is a couple of colours in here that aren't blue. But I'm running out of space here, guys, so I'm kind of trying to make it look aesthetically pleasing while shoving all the spare books further down the shelves because no one really sees them, which is where this comes in play. This is a classical Tales of Horror, and it is a beautiful book, but it is ram-packed. It's short tales. These are all of the tales. It's honestly so many short stories, and I have not read any of those, but I will do eventually. It'll be like a short read. I Guess I Live Here Now I have not read, but I love my Korean Japanese books, so I will be reading that at some point, just don't know when. The Surviving Sky I have not read. Lucy Scott, Things We Never Got Over, I have not read. My Darkest Eye I have read, and I loved it. The first book I read on Kindle, and annoyingly they are both on Kindle Unlimited, but I saw this cover and I thought, it's beautiful. Look how beautiful that cover is. Honestly stunning. So I bought that. That is upside down, but it says Just Friends by Billy Taylor, and I read this maybe like 7 times in total. Now, I read it maybe once or twice a year, and I have actually not read it this year, so this might be something I read again. It's so pretty. It's about like your first love and growing apart, but then getting back together again, and it's got like death involved, and honestly, it's just such a pretty book. Fine print I have read, not obsessed with it, but I have annotated it, unfortunately for me, so I cannot get rid of it. Twin Crowns is one of those books that is the Twin Crowns the first one? I think Twin Crowns is the first one, and I've read that one, but then all the other two I haven't read. Unravel Me I have not read. It is a part of the Shatter Me series, and I've only read the first one. And then Love Causes, what is that actually called? You know what, I don't know what it's called, and I can't remember picking that up. That is the second one to that one right there. I have not read it. This one, so I'm unsure. ASAP, I loved. This is the second one to XOXO, and it's about the same band, the same K-pop band, but it's just about a different artist within that band. Pinocchio, this is probably the same age as me, so I'm 25. This is old. This is the adult or the original storytelling of Pinocchio. I don't know if it's the original storytelling or if it's just an adult version of it, but I think it might be the original one, and it's immensely dark. Like, honestly, in Pinocchio, you witness rapes and stuff in there. It's yeah, it's a vibe. It's a dark vibe. Welcome to the Haingnam Dong bookshop. I have read half of it, and it was immensely cute, but it was just so boring. Not a lot happened, and when I started reading this book, I was in my fantasy era, and I've never left. So this one I will eventually get to at some point. This baby right here, I actually have 2 of. Right, When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. Met the author of this, and I've had a conversation, and she has personalised another book of mine. This one is also, I think, signed by the author. Yeah, because this is just a fairy edition, and I really enjoyed this book. It's a big book, and trust me, it's a lot of information in there. Like, it's information dumped for the first like half of the book because it's such a huge world, but it's so pretty. Like, the concept of the story is really good. This one, I don't know what this is. Compass and Blade. This is a book that I think I bought on Vinted. Honestly, I forgot about that one. The Girl with No Reflection is a fairy lit book, and I think the concept of this book is beautiful, and it's such a pretty cover. Like, it's such a pretty cover. So why have I got it like that and not like that? But again, I have not read that book, so excited to. Violet Sings is the second book to The Immortal Longings. This is one that I recently bought because I didn't realise it was out yet. But I bought that one and I have not read it. The City of Stardust I have not read. Some Desperate Glory I have not read. Stork and Jack the Ripper I have read. I read it last month and I really liked it. It was nice to see a woman in the Victorian era have some power, and how smart women can be, and how men just kind of like push you off because you're a woman. So that was really good. And then The Night Ends With Fire. This is a Mulan retelling, and Mulan has been my favourite movie, well, since I was a very young kid. And I really enjoyed this one. It's nice to see that Mushu and Mulan have a different relationship here. Like, they kind of hate each other, which is nice because in the movie they're obsessed with each other. This one, I'm just hiding because I really don't want to read it, but I feel like it could be a good story, so I'm keeping it because of that purpose. But yeah. But let's just count the books on here. I'm scared because I've read hardly anything on here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 unread books on the shelf. I feel like we were just down on the floor a second ago, but I'm going to get rid of that hair because why is that there? But this is the last shelf, and this one is Rampart. Like, honestly, what the hell? All of these I have not read. So this is The Beautiful by Renee. I'm not sure. I'm not going to try. This is The Damned by the same author. This is The Ruined by the same author, and this is The Righteous by the same author. It is the same series. I have just not read any of them yet, so I'm just going to push that to the side. This is the same book as When the Moon Hatched, but this is the book that I actually had signed by the author, and it was just a whole cute experience, so I'm excited about that. But I have read it, but I've just got 2 books. Okay, so The Resurrectionalist is a book that I'm not going to get that out, okay. It's a book about, like, mythological creatures, like mermaids. Just moved you a little bit closer. Yes, so the Resurrectionalist is about mermaids. It's got like little drawings on the like creatures. It's got a little like description of how they think they would like live, how they'd move, blah blah, what they'd eat. Nightbane is a second book to the Light Lark series. I loved it. This one was so much better than Light Lark, like so much better. A Touch of Darkness, red. A Touch of Ruin, red. Light Lark, obviously I just mentioned that. A Touch of Malice, red. The book that, I can't get any of these books out, oh my god. The Book That Broke the World, I have not read, and I've not read The Book That Wouldn't Burn. I bought these together when I think I had like maybe £20 on the Waterstones card. So I had money to spend, and obviously I had to spend it, so I bought them. Powerless, red, obsessed, beautiful. Sleep Like Death, I think is it's not, is it a Cinderella story? I would get it out, but it's very difficult. I haven't read that one. Romanov, I've read that one. It was such a good book, and I've had it in maybe like 5 years. Such a good book. The Night Circus, I have not read. New Moon, I have not read. The Wolf Den, I have not read. And this one's like something about Black Feather. I have read that a little bit. The concept was good, but the overall story, just a bit slow and boring. Bride, I have read, and if you have read it as well, I just want to mention the not scene. No. And then the Toy Makers, which I'm planning on reading this December, so that's good. But let's count the books I have not read. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10, 11, 12. I did say I'd show you all my books. So these are the Magnolia Parks books. I read all of these. I actually am getting some special edition ones for Christmas, and I'm so excited, but I've read all of them. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Read all of them. And I do have another pile of books, which I will get to in a second. Okay, this is a little bit difficult to show you just because obviously a couple of the books are missing the names, but I've had to put them like separate ways just because if you put all of them together where the names are shown where the spines are, it starts making the books go like that a little bit, and I want to be able to position my teddy on top. So these 3 books here are the Cassandra Clare series. I think they're not the Shadow Hunters, I don't think, but it's the Artifacts series trilogy. I don't know if there's any more, but I'm petrified so many pages are. That must be like close to 900 pages because goddamn. These are the Rebecca Ross, that's Ruthless Vows, and that is, god, what is that first one called? Is that the first one, Ruthless Vows? No, that's the second one. That is Divine Rivals, and that's Ruthless Vows, right? I enjoyed that one so much more than I enjoyed the second one. The first one's more about like love with a bit of like war in there and the gods. The second one is just pure god related, which I got bored really easily. And then this is the fourth wing, and this is Iron Flame. I really enjoyed both of these books, and I am so excited to get the third one. So yes, I have not read just these 3 books, but they are the most pages in this whole section, and I've been putting this off. If I can get these on Audible or Kindle Unlimited, then I might actually listen to them that way, because that is scary. That was really warm to go through all that. Oh my god, I'm actually sweating. So I did actually have like a little diagram of how many books are unread, so we're just going to calculate that, so give me 1 second. Okay, so I did say the last time I looked through these books, I think I had like just over 100 books that I have not read. Right now, I actually have 99. So I've made a little dent in that. Just a little bit of a dent. I didn't actually realise I had this many books unread. But the issue is, right, there's just so many new books coming out. There's so many books on my Kindle. Oh my god. Right, let's have a brief look at how many books are on my Kindle, because I like to read at least a couple of Kindle books each month just to give me a little bit of a break.
So on here I have 57. But that's in here, so that doesn't take much space. So we're gonna ignore the 57 unread books on my Kindle because it doesn't really take up much space. Like it's just right here, so it's not an issue. It's not an issue, but it's just like an FYI because that's why I'm not getting through these books as quick as I would have liked to, because there's new releases, there's Kindle ones, there's Audible books, there's too many books out there that I have not read. I'm gonna, yeah, we'll do this next year. I am kind of embarrassed to say I've only got 2 bookshelves and I have 99 books unread, but I'm just a girl. I am just a girl trying to live my life the way I want. But yeah guys, thank you so much for watching, and I guess we'll do another book tour next year this time. Goodbye.